What's up, gang? It's Deltia from DeltiasGaming.com, and over the year and a half that this game's been out, I've acquired some pretty cool pieces of gear. With the Imperial City Update 7 right around the corner, I wanted to give you guys a head up on what I think are the most powerful gear sets. Here's why. 1, they have been known to remove gear sets, RIP Warlock rings, and I want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity to collect these important gear sets. And 2, you probably will need some of this gear in order to have best in slot so you can do the new next level content. So if you don't know where or what are the good sets for stamina, magic, tank, healer, that type of thing, and you're looking for information on it endgame, this is the video for you. So I'm going to go over some really exclusive 3-piece sets that not a lot of people have, helms, monster mask, and then some good gear outloads for healer, tank, DPS, stamina, and magic. The first gear setup is the Ebony Armor set. This is ideal for a tank running in 12 group cryo or something that requires 12 people. It gives you a party buff. Here's what it looks like in real life or in video game. 3 red orbs. These 3 sets both have something like that. The Robe of the Wormcoil's the next one. This reduces magic cost by 5% up to 12 group members. Ideal for a trial or a PvP group. This one has the 3 blue orbs, and you've probably seen it in some of my other videos, as I recommend using it for the healer. The last one up, we have Hircine's Veneer, which is a stamina base buff. Increases stamina recovery for 12 group members by 10%. Ideal for PvP or PvE. And they drop from the various bosses in the dungeons. Banished Elves, Spindle, Fungal, Wayrest, Elden Hollow, and Darkshade. The first of our monster mask is the Bloodspawn, ideal for a tank or any class or build that you have that's focused on generating ultimate, like Sorks and negate Sorks in PvP, something like that. This is a really powerful set. If you look at it, every time you get hit, you have a 6% chance to proc a massive amount of armor spell resistance for 6 seconds and restore 15 ultimate. This has seen a lot of nerfing. The ultimate you produce used to be higher, and there was no cooldown, so the more targets that hit you, the higher percent chance you get. So you used to be able to go into a huge bunch of mobs and proc this left, right, and center, but now it has that cooldown. It's still very, very useful. Now I have only a 4 because it's a medium armor. I don't want to go to the bank because I'm lazy. But to give you an idea of what this looks like, so if I'm a tank here, and I'm a Dragon Knight, and I'm focused on generating ultimate, you can see when this thing procs. I'm dodging though. There it procs, and I generated the ultimate. Pretty cool. So, if you're a Dragon Knight and you need ultimate to use your resources and get more resources back, this set is ideal. I love it in PvP for my Dragon Knight. And that is the Bloodspawn. Next setup we have is the Engine Guardian, my favorite all-time set. It's all about resources in PvE and PvP, and why not use the king or queen of resource generation, the Engine Guardian. So if we look at this sucker, it has a 10% chance on ability use. That's very important to summon a Dwemin Automaton, whatever it's called, to give you health, stamina, or magic back. Now it's random, so if you're low on magic, it's not necessarily going to give you magic. The way I use this thing is, if I have extra stamina, I dodge roll to prevent damage. If I'm getting healing, I get aggressive. If I get magic, I know I can self-heal and cast a lot of spells. That's how I use this. So a tip for you using this is, remember, it's any ability, so stamina or magicka. So let's say I'm out of magicka, but I have plenty of stamina. I'll sit and cast a stamina ability over and over to proc that blue beam. Another useful trick with this is, if you're a Templar, you can use Repentance and grab that little body there. So Repentance, restoring light, don't go away body, bang! And use that for a free self-heal and stamina recovery. Engine Guardian, it is amazing. Darkshade Caverns, one of the harder bosses. I have a gold key video if you guys want to watch that, but it's very, very hard to get, and you will love it. The shoulder comes through on Dawned Pledges, so that's random, so get to completing your pledges. Next up, we have one of the harder helms to obtain, and that's Falcon Scythe, found in City of Ash Veteran mode only. The shoulder comes through the Undana pledges just like the rest of them, and the helm is somewhat difficult to get. I have a very detailed written guide and a video guide I will link in the description if you need help getting it. What makes this thing so powerful is that it procs off of damage at time effects. So whether you have one enemy with a dot or 15, it doesn't matter. This can proc a meteor at a time. So it used to be able to proc many meteors, and now I think it's pretty much limited to like one per enemy, though I don't know for sure. Another trick about this is that the game considers channels or like puncturing sweeps and rating oppression. The game considers that damage over time effects. So on a Templar, this is super powerful because I can use puncturing sweeps followed up with a rating oppression and proc those meteors. So just for an example's sake, let's go try to do this. Now, I'm not going to use any other dots besides those two, so let's do it. And you see right there, boom. Right there it procced it without any other dot usage. So I wasn't casting entropy, I wasn't casting reflective light or anything else. So it can proc off of that. And we got a Columbine in a video? Amazing. But these three helms are really worth getting. I really think so. There's going to be 2 new helms coming out, and I can't wait to see how powerful they are. Also, there's other helms that are useful to builds and so forth, but I really recommend spending a lot of time to farm these. The traits you want, generally speaking, are Infused on your head, and then Divines on your shoulders, or you want Impenetrable if you're a PvPer. Those are generally the traits to seek out. Let's get started on talking about some loadouts that you can use and where to find them. Here's my healer loadout when I recommend the Healer set, Worm Colt, Torug's Pack, and a Master Staff. You can get Worm Colt like I showed you in earlier videos from farming bosses in various dungeons. Healer, that comes from Dragonstar Arena. The VR13 comes from normal, VR14 from veteran mode. Torug's Pack, that's a craftable 3 trait, very easy to find. I have a written guide on exactly where to find those, but this is a strong loadout for healers at endgame. Here's a magical DPS loadout that uses 5 light, 1 medium, 1 heavy to take advantage of the Undaunted passive. You're going to use Scoria, a damage over time, to produce meteors with high spell damage. Martial Knowledge is a tricky one. The lower end version can be found in Upper Cragorn, but the VR14 can only be found in VR14 Treasure Chest. So that's like Cyrodiil Dolmens, things in City of Ash. Adroitness, that's a set that's found in Crypt of Hearts veteran mode, and it can be found through the bosses through there, so not just the end boss. Torug's Pack, that's a craftable set. Master, that comes from the VR13 DSA or the VR14 Dragonstar Arena. Cyrodiil's Lights through AP bags only in Cyrodiil, 248,000. Here's one of the most powerful stamina loadouts you can find in the game. Morag's Tongue, Hawkeye. Both are very hard to get a hold of because they're found through random Alliance Point bags only in Cyrodiil. So you're going to run 2 5-pieces. This can run you a lot of gold or a lot of Alliance points. Then you're going to run the Master Bow Sharpened, that's Dragonstar Arena, and then the Twice Fang Snake is through Trials, last boss of Ethereal Archive. But if you have the AP, this set is worth it. Now if you're going to play melee DPS, this is a set to use. Of Ravagers, 2 heavy, 5 medium stamina-based DPS. Ravagers adds about 600 weapon power. It's extremely expensive, 248,000 for the VR14 version. That's 1 piece. So if you have over 1 million AP, you might want to buy this. Hunding's Rage is craftable. You can find that in my written guide. And then Twice Fang Snake, once again, Ethereal Archives, Masters, comes from DSA. Here's a simple basic tank setup using 5-piece footmans that comes from Dragonstar Arena, VR13 normal, VR14 vet, and Hispark, which is a craftable set that gives you some dodge chance. Also using a 2-piece Engine Guardian for resource management, or you can go with Bloodspawn. No, this isn't every single tank has to use this, but this is what I've used for a long time and it's effective. It's easy to get and it's not that expensive if you want to do high-end tanking. Well gang, thanks a lot for watching this video. I have received tons and tons of questions on what gear sets, how to get them, where to obtain them. I hope you guys refer to my written guide, because I will update that when new and awesome sets come out in Imperial City. I've also started an Imperial City hub guide, so I can upload live as soon as I see things on the PTS, so you guys can come watch it. I'll have a link to that as well in the description. So hopefully you got something out of this, and you can kind of start gathering those pieces to become viable at endgame. Now, there's plenty of other gear combinations and sets that are worthwhile using. I just thought about highlighting a few that I personally like. Thank you so much. Imperial City comes out this week on the public test server. I urge all of us to come test it and see exactly what they got. There's 2 new headsets that are coming out, which I can't wait. I'm starting to collect my gold keys now, and I hope to have at least 100 gold keys before it launches. Thanks so much for watching.